It's 2 p.m. in Freetown. Good afternoon. My name is Daphne Kimamakoli. Coming up in this edition of News are some SLFA presidency aspirants disqualified. Sierra looks at the erratic weather patterns, and pupils at Know Your Quran School, Calabar Town, get school uniforms. All the stories and more lined up, but first, let's take our coronavirus preventive message.
You see where them people here wear the mask them fine? Well, now so you say for wear your mask. Cover your nose and you mouth all time where you dey near other person.
Or make sure you continue to adhere to the precautionary measures. To attain quality education, teaching and learning materials must be made available to schools and pupils, but many a time they are scarce or sometimes not even available. Khadija Tuswad Sise has provided school uniforms to pupils at Know Your Quran School at Calabar Town. Amnata Fofana has the story.
The uniforms will change the appearance of the pupils as they will now stop wearing normal clothes to school, which they have been doing for some time now. Education has been one of President Bio's priorities. Many government institutions and non-governmental organizations have been supporting the president's vision. For Kadiatu Swat Sise, her call to support the children was to ensure they are helped in pursuing their education.
According to the prophetic athletes, we say,
according to the Quran, there are verses which make it mandatory for all Muslims to help the less privileged. So I am a Muslim. I am obliged to help people whenever I have the means to do so. I have also been supporting the school in various ways and will continue to assist the pupils, especially so that they can learn the Quran.
The smiles on the faces of the pupils reveal their happiness as they will now switch from wearing normal clothes to school uniforms. They appreciated the donor for her support as the uniforms will help change their looks.
I feel happy and I thank God for the people that bring this supply for us.
Wearing those clothes make no sense because some of them wear short clothes and it is very dirty, and getting this supply may help.
For parents whose pupils attend the school, said they were glad that their children will now wear uniforms to school instead of ordinary clothes. They said they were not happy to see their children dressed in mufti to go to school. School authorities and community leaders admonished parents to ensure they encourage their children to learn the Quran while they study English. Know Your Quran is a Muslim school situated at Eastern Freetown and was established mainly for children to learn about the Holy Quran. SLBC News, Aminata Fofana.
Sanitation, education, health and gender issues, among others, are the key indicators captured in the 2019 Sierra Demographic and Health Survey. The survey, which was conducted by Statistics Sierra Leone, was the third demographic and health survey to be conducted in Sierra Leone and followed those implemented in 2008 and 2013. Jonathan Turner witnessed the workshop held with journalists in the Statistics Sierra Leone's conference hall at AJ Momo State, Tower Hill, Freetown, and he filed in this report.
In the survey reports, key findings indicate that childhood mortality has declined since 2013, a decline in fertility rates. Modern method use of family planning has increased since 2008. 4 in 5 births were delivered in a health facility. More than 3 in 4 women aged 15 to 49 attended 4+ antenatal care visits as recommended, and improvement in nutrition indicators such as stunting, wasting, and underweight.
Facility status as of 2019. More than half of households, 55% in Sierra Leone, use an improved sanitation facility, including facilities shared with other households compared to 49% in 2013.
The Deputy Statistician General, Andrew Bob Johnny, emphasized that Sierra Leone Demographic and Health Survey provides an opportunity to inform and provide data for planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of national health programs.
Make sure that researchers, planners, development planners, of course, both local and international, to make sure they are privy to this document so it can be fully utilized. A lot of energy and resources was actually put into this document to ensure we have a lot of information, a lot of indicators in it. We want it to be fully used. We want this report, what is in it, to reach to the far corners of Australia.
The survey is designed to provide updates, information on health indicators, including national status of children, early childhood and maternal mortality, maternal and child health, facility levels, sexual activity, facility preferences, awareness and use of family planning methods, breastfeeding practices, awareness and behaviors regarding HIV and AIDS, and other sexually transmitted infections and prevalence of HIV. The 2019 Sierra Leone Demographic and Health Survey also provides indicators relevant to the Sustainable Development Goals, and it is conducted every 5 years. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting.
Notable schools like Sierra Leone Grammar School, the Annie Walsh Memorial School, Prince of Wales School, the Sierra Leone International Providence International High School, among others, have been doing well in the Basic Education Certificate examination. In the 2020 Becker, schools like the Providence International High School, the Annie Walsh, Sierra Leone Grammar School, Madrasa to Hakim Junior Secondary School, Modern High, and Camboy Lebanese in Kenema scored the best results with aggregates of 7. SLBC pays visit to some of the schools with our intern Mohammed Simbikoma presenting more details.
The 2020 Basic Education Certificate examination results were indeed encouraging for parents, teachers, and even candidates, especially when a majority of candidates came out with excellent results. 65% of candidates who took the exams passed, as opposed to the 46% passes in 2019. Even though there was no aggregate 6, a total of 9 candidates from various schools scored aggregate 7. 2 from Providence International High School, 2 from Annie Walsh Memorial School, 2 from Madrasa to Hakim Junior Secondary School, 1 from Sierra Leone Grammar School, 1 from Modern High School, and 1 from Cambo Lebanese School in Kenema. Such pleasant results mean a lot to principals of the various schools, especially when their schools excelled among the 1,209 schools that took the exams. On that note, SLBC visited some of the leading schools in the 2020 Becker and spoke to their principals.
20 Becker, we were very impressed as compared to the WAS result. Because Becker, they did extremely well as compared to WAS 2020. We have a tradition of conducting what we call remedial classes for all examination classes, examination candidates, be it Prep 6, JSS 3 or SS3.
Well, I'm pleased, although some parents think we haven't performed well because, you know, we've always topped the results, but we can't always be top. But we know we've got very good grades. What we are keen on looking at is not so much the aggregates, but you look at the individual subjects and we find out that our boys have performed pretty well.
Because over the years we used to get 8 1s, I get 6, fact, the year before we got 2 8 ones. This year we were able to get a 7. So it was good. General performance was really good and encouraging.
SLBC News, Mohamed Simbiko reporting.
Events in America have shocked the world, especially last Wednesday's attack on the Capitol Hill by supporters of President Trump. Since he lost the election, Mr. Trump and his supporters have done things that many say are despicable and have ruined America's standing in the world. The storming of the Capitol Hill did not only desecrate U.S. democracy, but it has also set a dangerous precedent for other countries, because it is normally said when America sneezes, the world catches cold. Joining me online is Dr. Charles Silva, a political scientist and chairman of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism. Good afternoon and welcome to Newshour.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Now tell us, all that has been going on in America, what does that mean for the democracy or the governance of Africa?
Yeah, actually it means a lot for Africa and the world at large. One lesson we have learned from all of this, let us just go quickly down memory lane. If you remember, I think what is not obtained in America is not different from what the situation even before President Trump was elected into office. So these are all the things we have to learn. And when we talk about democracy, it's not just about elections or whatever, it's about respecting democratic institutions. And here is the situation, the same house that certified him, the same house that endorsed his own presidency, he is now questioning the authority of that very house. So the lesson we are learning from Africa and the world at large is that we have to be very, very careful. I think we have to really teach the process of background check on candidates, people we elect to positions of that nature, not only as president, but positions of authority. So there is a lot we can learn and the like. And I think even for the Americans, they are embarrassed. It's no longer about Trump, it's no longer about parties, it's about the very integrity of the country which are taken. It's a very unfortunate situation, and I think Africans have to learn from that, and other parts of the world have to learn from that. Let us respect established institutions, because that's the only way out. Democracy does not occur in a vacuum. Democracy is all about going through institutions. I'm not saying President Trump has the right to question, but you have to go through the right.
Now, by all indication, do you think America should revisit its constitution? Hello, doctor. I think we've lost him there. He was talking to us about the chaos in the United States of America. In Sierra Leone, the aged are vulnerable groups. For those dwelling in special homes for the care of the elderly, access to food and health facilities have always been highlighted as challenges for them. To help cushion one of such homes, the Creole Descendants Union, Northeast USA, has provided some food and medical relief to dozens of the aged residing at the King George VI Memorial Home for the Aged Grafton. Ibrahim Samoa went along and he now reports.
King George VI Memorial Home of the Aged is perhaps the main home in the country, housing dozens of elderly who have lived for over 80 years. Managed by the Sierra Leone Society for the Welfare of the Aged, the home has been largely surviving from gifts and donations from philanthropists and goodwill organizations at home and abroad. But food and health facility, among others, still remain perennial challenges for the home. To help cushion the home, Creole Descendants Union Northeast USA, as part of their support to the aged, extended helping hands to all people residing at the King George VI Memorial Home for the Aged with assorted food and medical relief that would go a long way to upkeeping the home. The union also provided lunch for them to show care and love to the aged.
We have these people still in Sierra Leone, and we are over there. God has blessed us. We have to give back. They always say, if you receive, and you don't give back, whatever you have received is not worthy of praise. But whatever little you receive in life and you give of that, it is something to the praise of God the Most High.
Smiles were put on the faces as they received their packs. Each pack contains hand sanitizers, toiletries, and medicines. Administrators at the home cited shortage of food, leakages in some of the wards, and the perimeter fencing as pressing needs affecting inmates. They received the items wholeheartedly, saying KDU Northeast is one of the home's dependable partners that every year supports the home with assorted food and non-food items. KDU assured inmates that the union would adequately look into their challenges. Ibrahim Samora, Freetown.
We have Dr. Charles Silva talking to us there on the events in the United States of America. Good afternoon again and welcome. I wanted you to respond to the question of do you think America should revisit its constitution?
Well, it is not about revisiting constitution like I said in the earlier. The American constitution has been holding that country for over all of these years. I think it is about putting mechanisms in place to ensure that democratic institutions, all of which have their bearing from the constitution, are respected. The problem we have here is about the stability of established institutions. It is not about the constitution.
Okay, why I ask this question is because many people are of the opinion that the time frame for the swearing in of the next president is a little long.
No, even that one has very good interest. It is all of that one was well thought out for those who did that. It is not as long as we are claiming. All of that period is given so that if anyone has grievances that need to be addressed, those grievances can be addressed once the president is sworn into office. There and then they start building their country. So to me, I don't want to question the time frame between elections and this is not the first time it happened, even in his own time. President Trump became president after going through elections successfully. The same time frame was stated, and they went through that process, and he has sat for 4 years. It is rather unfortunate. It has to do with individuals, not necessarily with the constitution. I don't want us to beg the question. Let us not try to exaggerate somebody in this case.
Now, America has countries like Venezuela and Cuba that it has blacklisted because they describe them as being undemocratic. How do you think they will respond to some of these things that are happening?
That was what I meant when I said it's a very big embarrassment to them. That it is about him. Mind you, as social scientists, it is not rocket science theory. When you say this is the name of this society, like that, things change. But like I started talking, let's go down briefly. I think what transpired in America 4 years ago is not different from what is happening. This one is nearly to America. President Trump said, and I quote, he said, you can only accept election results if you win. I'm not saying he won because of that statement, but that was how it all started. And throughout the 4 years, he has not been a very good respecter of established institutions. Yeah, that is the problem they have. I think we have to learn from that. They themselves have to learn. Countries like Venezuela, I tell people if it were Africa, something different would have been said, but that is just the reality. It's all about making sure you actually do some very rigorous background check on people you elect to positions of that nature. Not necessarily in America, but we can all learn from the American situation so that we can avoid similar occurrences.
Now, Doctor, before you leave us, should we continue? Because people are asking, should we refer to America as the best of democracy?
Well, I know it is sometimes it is a misfortune on their part. They have been doing very well, and even in this promotion, I think they have actually proved themselves. Attempts have been made, to advocate the political system there, but I think America is still very strong, even though the process was disrupted. But again, that is not stop the process. They have continued, they have recommenced it, and it is ongoing. I think let us be a bit time is there. I don't want us to dismiss them as something that is rather very, very unfortunate.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, he is Dr. Charles Silva, the chairperson for the Africa Peer Review Mechanism, talking to us there on the chaos in the United States of America. And now to another issue. Last weekend, sports-loving fans were in a high spirits to witness the nominations of aspirants wishing to run for the presidency of the Sierra Leone Football Association and other positions in the FA. Some of the intending aspirants were unable to cross the nomination stage because those who nominated them were disqualified by the FA on technicalities. Alhaji Mansaye is a sports journalist of Afri Radio, and he is my studio guest. Good afternoon and welcome to Newshour.
Good afternoon, thank you. Good afternoon, viewers.
Now tell us, what do you make of the nomination process?
It was an interesting process, considering the fact that we have come a long way, especially the issues around football and how the membership and this present leadership of the Sierra Leone Football Association have been getting along. Well, the process that led to the nomination was when the chairman of the electoral committee, Mr. Oleni Robin Coker, had his first meeting with the press, which was last year at the Home Suite Hotel. He stated that the nomination process will take place on the 9th of January, and the process, there are criteria. We have district, regions, and football clubs that form part of the Sierra Leone Football Association membership. He stated that for a candidate to be nominated to be part of the Sierra Leone Football Association elections, one, if the club is going to nominate you, that club should submit minutes of their previous meetings held and also fulfill all their financial obligations to the Sierra Leone Football Association. And these clubs and regions that are entitled to nominate individuals, they must do it on or before the 9th of January. So on the 9th of January, which was on Friday, it was very interesting at the Sierra Leone Football Association Secretariat. Nominations were done, but certain candidates, their nominations were rejected due to the fact that those who nominated them has not fulfilled the criteria set by the Sierra Leone Football Association
and Mohamed
electoral.
Kalon is one of them.
Yes. As for the case of Mohamed Kalon, the region that nominated Mohamed Kalon, according to the Sierra Leone Football Association, the region, or according to the Sierra Leone Football Association electoral committee, the region, has not fulfilled all the criteria to certify his nomination. And based upon that, his nomination did not actually go through on that particular day, which was the deadline on the 9th of January. And this has created a lot of eyebrows, and a complaint has been filed to the electoral committee headed by Mr. Oluni Robin Coker and Madam Fatou Taki. These are the two individuals steering the ship of the electoral committee. So it is left with the electoral committee to examine the situation and know whether maybe Mohamed Kalon can have a chance, but as for now, his nomination was rejected.
I wanted to ask if there is a window to redo their nominations.
Well, according to the chairman of the electoral committee in a meeting that took place before the nomination process, he said from now until the end of the month, they will do what we call an assessment on the candidates that were nominated. And at this particular point, Mohamed Kalon is not part of those candidates that were nominated. So expecting Mohamed Kalon to be part of the process at the end of the day, it's a big doubt, considering the fact that from now to the end of the year, to the end of the month, I beg your pardon, will be the time wherein the committee will sit and assess the candidates. Therefore, After the assessments, they will do their findings from the 1st to the 4th of February. And then on the 12th of February next month, they will announce the list of candidates that are successfully going to contest in the Sierra Leone Football Association Elective Congress, which will actually took place on the end of February, the 26th and the 27th in Makeni.
Now, as a journalist, what do you think should be done to settle this impasse in the SLFA?
For me, I think the Sierra Leone Football Association Electoral Committee should be independent, should be objective, and also be transparent and conduct a free and fair elective
So
Congress.
you're saying as of now, the committee is not independent?
I'm not saying they are not independent. For me, the process has just started. Nominations is just a start. There are several things going forward now. Now the committee will have to sit and examine all these candidates that we are nominated. And then after the examination of these candidates, they will have to do their findings about these candidates. And then after the findings, they will have to do possibly an announcement of the candidates that will be successfully going through the process. Remember, there will be an integrity check also, which will be done by the ethics committee, because they are charged with that responsibility. The electoral committee will have to take the list of these candidates to the ethics committee for thorough assessment, because there are several issues when it comes to football. I mean, there are people involved in several other things aside the game. And you know, FIFA is frowning against several things, like issues that has to do with match fixing, issues like gambling, issues like trafficking, several other things FIFA are frowning against. So it is left with the ethics committee to examine those candidates that have successfully gone through the nomination process, and then at the end of the day we'll have a comprehensive list of candidates that will be contesting in the elective congress.
Now, there are allegations that some stakeholders in the Electoral Commission is done by SLFA staff, and most are perceived to be supporters of Aisha. And we all know Aisha Johansson has her own camp in the SLFA.
Interesting. Madam Aisha Johansson as the incumbent, we all know the secretariat staff might owe an obligation in terms of loyalty, in terms of commitments to her campaign. But the truth is, the secretariat staffs at the Sierra Leone Football Association should not be seen as politicians. They should not in any way interfere in this process.
But now there are allegations that
there are allegations, and that is why us as journalists also, it is left with us as journalists to make sure that those who are interfering in the process should be shamed and named, because this is a process. The electoral committee is only charged with the responsibility to run elections at the Sierra Leone Football Association. It is not the responsibility of Sierra Leone Football Association staff to get involved. That is why they are working directly with the secretariat and they are not working with the electoral committee. The only individual that is working as a secretary to the committee is the General Secretary, Christopher Kamara. He is charged with the responsibility to be communicating with the electoral committee until the day of Congress. Aside the General Secretary, Chris Kamara, no any other individual working in the Sierra Leone Football Association should be seen or involved in elections campaign or giving their support to any other candidates, because this is not a good sign for football, and those working in the secretariat should not, I repeat, should not be seen as football politicians.
Now, before you go, tell us, do you foresee any injunction?
I don't want to sit and start prejudice or better still, what will be the outcome.
You have right to your opinion.
For me, we have come a long way when it comes to Sierra Leone football. Where we have actually came from is very far. We have had setbacks like the ban. We have had setbacks like the Aisha Johansson case that was in court for over 2 years. We have not played competitive football for over 5 years. So where we have actually came from is too long. And for us to be going to court again when it comes to football matters, I don't think so. We have to sit collectively, examine the situation, and then try to see how best at the end of the day we have a situation wherein a level playing ground is being set for each and every member that will be contesting in the elective Congress. Because for me, I think the Electoral Committee has a lot to do when it comes to delegating responsibility to those who will be having an opportunity to run for different positions.
Now let's go again to the issue of Mohamed Kalon. There's
Yes.
this rumor that he is saying that if he does not make it to, or if he is not nominated, he is going to FIFA.
He has the right to go to FIFA. Mohamed Kalon is a big name in Sierra Leone football. He's a legend, and he's undoubtedly you cannot talk about Sierra Leone football without making mention of Mohamed Kalon. He's also the owner of FC Kalon Football Club, and FC Kalon is a member of the Sierra Leone Football Association. So he has the rights to go to FIFA. He has the impetus to go to.
Do you think he has grounds to actually go to FIFA? What evidence actually would he take to FIFA?
I don't want to sit and speak for Mohamed Kalon.
No, you are speaking as a football journalist.
I don't want to sit and actually make an assessment.
The allegations, they are saying that the people that should nominate him are not qualified.
It was said by the Electoral Committee. That is why the members have a responsibility at the Sierra Leone Football Association. The members are obliged to be producing minutes of their last meetings when it comes to this kind of situation. They also have a responsibility to pay their dues to the Sierra Leone Football Association, because you cannot be a member, for example, in a particular institution, and you are not committed in terms of paying your subscriptions, paying your necessary obligations. And if you are not obligated, you will have a different scenario, but it's a must. If you are a member, you have to fulfill all those criteria. So that was the problem, according to the Electoral Committee, with the case of Mohamed Kalon. Mohamed now, if he has a case, it is left with him. But at this particular moment, as I'm speaking, according to what we have received, Mohamed Kalon's nomination was rejected. If he has a case, then let him go to FIFA.
Now, there was this issue of stabbing during the nomination process. I know you want to talk about that.
Yes.
Because does that really send a good signal for the actual election?
That is barbaric, that is abysmal, and that is very intolerant. For me, I see that as an act of hooliganism, and that should not be tolerated in football. Football is a game of fair play, and it's a game of respect. The individual that committed that offense should face the full consequences of the law. Because when it comes to football, FIFA is frowning against those things. In the eyes of FIFA, if those things are reported, it's a shame for Sierra Leone. And for me, that act by the treasurer of the Western Area Football Association was barbaric. It was very, very, very abysmal. And I'm expecting him by now to actually come out publicly and apologize to the person in question, Victor Luis, and also members of the football family. Because for me, that is not sending a very good signal about Sierra Leone. And in as much as we are heading to the elective Congress in February, on the 27th and the 26th, seeing such an early warning sign is not good. It's not good, and I'm calling on...
So what advice would you give to SLFA or the election committee?
For me, I want the electoral committees to stand firm. Football elections is not a war, for God's sake. We are not going to battle in a battlefield wherein we are going to see guns and ammunitions. We are going to elect those who will be leading or will be administering football for the next 4 years. It's not going to a battlefield. This is not a do or die situation. Football elections must not be seen as a place where hooliganism is tolerated. I want to call on the electoral committee to stand firm and make sure all those who are found guilty of violence or hooliganism act should be suspended or maybe be disqualified from the process. because football is not a place where barbaric actor is tolerated. So going to the elective congress on the 26th and the 27th of February in McKinney, seeing these early warning signs is not good, and I'm calling on the security agencies, the security apparatus, to ensure that we have a very peaceful and a very democratic, free and fair Sierra Leone Football Association elective congress on the 26th and the 27th of February in McKinney City, and it must be done in a situation where credibility should be the watchword. The electoral committee headed by Mr. Olini Robin Coker and Dr. Fatutaki, the eyes of Sierra Leoneans are on you. Please do us a favor. We don't want to see the August 3rd scenario anymore. We want to see a decent, a transparent, and a credible Sierra Leone Football Association leadership that will take football from where football has actually been over the years to a better and a very structured environment where football can thrive.
Well, many thanks to you, Alhaji Mansari, a sport journalist of AR Radio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Fairway College Primary School Mount Orel has celebrated its 60th anniversary at the school compound. According to the headmistress of the school, Mrs. Lucy M. Igbenda, they are celebrating their good work as they persevere in maintaining high standards. Mohammed Laminture has the story.
This school was established in 1961 for children of lecturers of Fairway College. The school has increased its role from a school that converted from Fairway College Dining Hall to a school that can now boast of having more than 500 pupils.
We are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the school, and on this day we've embarked on a project that is building 5 blocks classroom, a toilet facilities, a library for the school, and a hall for the use of the children.
Keynote speaker Elizabeth Kama told pupils to be perseverant and staff to be cooperative, focused if they want to succeed. She asked staff and pupils to emulate these virtues and keep raising the standards of the school. She said the occasion is a very important milestone in the history of the school that is worthy of being celebrated with great ceremony, as thousands of pupils have passed through the school and left their marks. She added, the number of classrooms is not enough, as they want the school to have more pupils because education is the key to changing the lives and attitudes of men and women and fostering national development. Representing parents, Reverend Alex Josa said that without parents, the thousands of pupils will not have passed through for the school to come this far. He said they are celebrating because they are proud parents of the school, and their children will tell the world that Fairway College Primary School is a school to be reckoned with. A past pupil of the school, Magistrate Ishmael Kabine, called on the pupils to maintain the records of the school and create new ones which will send a message to the public.
Director of TVET at the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Koy, has assured YWCA that the ministry will support institutions that are providing technical and vocational education. Dr. Masakoi was speaking during YWCA's 53rd annual seminar training for lecturers on the theme Effective Classroom Management. The workshop took place as YWCA Canteen, Bismarck Johnson State Brookfields. Cynthia Kamara reports.
For the past 5 decades, the Young Women Christian Association Vocational Institute has been doing their annual seminar and workshop for lecturers as a prelude for the opening of the institute. This annual orientation keeps lecturers up to speed with their curriculum. When President Bio came to power, he divided the Ministry of Education into 2, one focusing on basic and senior education, while the other on technical and higher education. Director of TVET in the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Victor Masakoi, noted that his ministry will ensure classrooms are managed with the requisite expertise. He echoed the President's commitments to improving technical learning institutions in the country. He outlined recommendations to ensure that classrooms are well managed.
So the first one is effective, which is spoke about, which is success in producing the intended desired results. The second is about classroom. Managing classroom is about managing a space, not just the physical walls. All right. And then the third one is management. Management is about coordination. Management is about administration. Management is about directing people. Management is about controlling things. So when you put all of this together, controlling the activities of an organization, because at the end of the day, all we need is that we're not only giving knowledge, skills, and abilities to these young girls, but we are also helping to shape their attitude and their behaviors at the end of the day, which is also going to, which speaks to your three things: the competence, the devotion, and the service.
The reform brought together lecturers from various fields.
We try to come together, to put heads together for what we are going to do come that new academic year, so that at least we sail smoothly. Teachers will be able to give their best and also encourage the students also, so that they too will learn, and then at the end they too will be able to apply themselves when it comes to examination. And things that were left undone the previous year, we try to bridge them out, and our shortcomings, the difficulties we went through, we try to amend them and see how we can forge ahead.
How productive is the annual workshop? Zainab Kaloko is one of the lecturers at the institute.
Having this workshop, it has a lot to do, especially when we have the theme effective classroom management. If us, the teachers, we have already equipped, we'll know how to at least tackle the students when school reopens.
Okay. Effective classroom management is critical to learning success in general, but crucial to the acquisition of KSA+A. For SLBC News, Cynthia Kamara reporting.
The achievement of education, which is Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals, is to ensure inclusiveness and the promotion of lifelong learning opportunities for all. It is from this background that the founder and chief executive officer of Mary Scott Foundation, Madam Mary Scott, donated school learning materials worth over 50 million pounds to the St. Philip's Primary School at Patton State, Freetown. Jonathan Turner reports.
The items, including bags, pens, and books, were to better equip the children to acquire their education. Speaking to the pupils of St. Philip's Primary School, the founder and chief executive officer of Mary Scott Foundation, Mary Scott said that she is pleased to have come back for the first time and render support to our primary school after leaving Sierra Leone as a child 23 years ago.
Like, whilst growing up, I see people, their parents don't have, cannot afford bags, books, or pencil for kids. So me growing up, that was like my own thing I wanted to do to help people, especially kids, and people that cannot afford to help their kids. I said, okay, let me get some stuff and come down here and help where I come from.
Thanking the foundation on behalf of the school, the head teacher, Madam Gloria Nichols, appreciated the humanitarian gesture provided by Mary Scott. She promised the foundation that these school items will be benefited by the school pupils.
Very, very happy when she came on Monday to introduce her, said that she was a past pupil of the school and she wanted to come and launch the foundation. We are very happy because you see the scrambling for the things. The children are happy to receive.
This donation is one of the many philanthropic drives to be taken by the Mary Scott Foundation. The Mary Scott Foundation was established by Mary Scott, a young Sierra Leonean nurse living in America, with the aid of providing support to humanity in Sierra Leone. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting.
Well, many thanks to Jonathan Turner for that. Let's take some entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News. I am Sulaiman Baba Toure. Entertainment can vary from fashion to music, and there are videos to what is trending on social media. Well, What's trending on social media right now is the Stingy Men Association. What do you make of it? I don't know. But for me, I think it's damn interesting to know that there are some set of men who are tired of investing on their women. How can a man say he is a stingy man, yet he wants a beautiful woman? I suppose the executive director of the so-called association is a friend of mine. Uncle King Cross is his name on Facebook. And just recently I saw his post that he is the executive director of the association. And just like many other ladies, this particular lady thinks the association will not last for a month.
So today I just want to talk about the Stingy Men Association. A member of that association, this video is for you. This video is for you. It's either you're useless, this is the first thing. Secondly, you're foolish like the foolish virgins. Thirdly, you're just poor. And you hide in the name of being stingy. Yes. So the other thing is, if you are ugly and you are in that association, dear man, my brother, that association is not for you. Because you cannot be ugly.
There have been several counter statements on social media about the aim of this association. To counter the cause of the Stingy Men Association, some other ladies have formed other organizations like Lockfoot Association, Oliona Olmion, and a few others, just so that the Stingy Men Association will know that this thing about giving money to women is a two-way thing. I guess you know what I'm talking about. That's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us.
To end the news, a recap of the main points. Some SLFA presidency aspirants have been disqualified. Some of the intending aspirants were unable to cross the nomination stage because those who nominated them were disqualified by the FA on technicalities. Among them is the former Leon Star captain Mohamed Kalon. Ceylon has looked at the erratic weather patterns. Just this morning, there was some drizzling in Freetown. It is strange to have rain at this time of the year. What is normally expected at this time is the Harmattan, but even that one is also sporadic. And pupils at Know Your Quran School, Calabar Town, have got school uniforms from Khadija to Swat Sise. She did this to help ease the burden on parents. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Newshour. I am Daphne Kimamakoli. Continue to watch the SLBC if you can.